Okay, I'm going to make a basic video showing how I ran cables from both banks of my solar panels to the center of the boat where the MaxOak Bluetti will be sitting and receiving the voltage and the watts from these panels. So anyways, I'm going to run them inside to the boat. This set has to go through the engine compartment through a long conduit that goes about midship, where it opens up, and that's where all the cables are running up to the front of the ship. I say ship, I mean boat, haha. And the other set was from the front. The front fly bridge has cables where the front bank will be, and the cables ran down through the boat where the helm is at, and down below and to midship again. So I'm going to start demonstrating how I do some of these things. Okay, the stretch going from the back of the boat down through the middle is going through a big piece of conduit. So running two wires through this would be virtually impossible without some sort of large straight object. So the wires are going to end up right down in here in this section underneath. So I'm going to use this piece of PVC. It's a 1/2-inch piece, and the wiring I'm using will fit right down the center of that. So if I can get this piece of PVC all the way to the end there almost, then I'll be able to push these wires through and get them from the middle to the back of the boat. So wish me luck. So I'm midship underneath one of the benches down here, and that's the piece of PVC. I'm going to try and run it all the way through this large piece of conduit and reach at least as close to the aft part as I can, and then go back there and pull everything through once I get the wires going through the PVC. So we'll see how this goes. Looks like there's plenty of room in here. I think I'll be able to get this through just by pushing it and finessing it slowly without ripping any other wires out. Actually, it's already going now, so I'll keep doing this while I'm videotaping so you can see it. I kind of come to a stop there. Hopefully it's not something I can't get past. I'm going to go ahead and stop videoing, and I'll take up in a minute. Okay, so I got the piece almost all the way through to the end. It's still going to be about 3 feet from the end, so once I get the wire going through, I'm going to go to the other end and start searching for that and stick my arm in there and see if I can grab it, and then pull it the rest of the way through. So continuing on. On a side note, this is where I ran the wires from the forward part of the boat down through. Actually, you can see that's the red wire, and there's a black one. Those go up through a channel here through the power section, up through the fly bridge and out where I can connect them to the panels on the front. But basically I fished those down and then ran them through that hole there, which basically allows me to run them up through into this cabinet area, and they're coming out right here. You can see them right there. Basically the power station's going to be right here. I'm putting the Bluetti in the cuddy so I can monitor it, and at some point I'll have everything moved into this cabinet to where it's going to be quieter and out of the way. I've also got a fan that'll run when the Bluetti's running, also to keep that compartment cool. Anyways, updates. So I've taped up the end of these two cables, and I'm going to run them through the PVC conduit, the mini conduit that I put through there to thread these things through. So let's see how that goes. I'm going to start threading right now. So I'm threaded all the way through. Basically I mark the cable with those marks, just make sure that just so as a reference, so I knew when the other end of the cable would be all the way through this thing. So now I'm going to go to the other end of the boat and open that up and see if I can find the red and black and pull them through the rest of the way. By the way, I took that tape off from the beginning of this run because that tape was too thick to fit through this piece of PVC. These things are barely making it through, but definitely been a great way to run these cables through the boat for about $4. There's the end of that run that comes through. They've got it sealed up with like a cowl with a hose clamp on it. So I'm gonna run down there. I'm gonna squeeze down there, all 6'3" of me, and open that up and grab those wires and pull them through. Well, here I am in the belly of the beast, as my buddy calls it, and this hose clamp's going to come off, and I'll pull those wires through here. So they came through pretty easy. This is an awesome way to do this because there was no way I could a way of getting these through the tire belly there. But anyways, got the ends, and there's a piece of PVC. I'll probably just leave it in here in case I need to move stuff around, but yeah, so we're good. I can pull this wire as far through as I need and make some proper ends for it and connect it to the solar panels that are on the aft part of the boat. So, okay, get the wires through there, close the collar back up. Basically ran the cables along the bulkhead, zip tied them, or cable tied them, ran them up along the bottom here. See right there, they're going back here and along this front edge. So this under here, they'll come out from here and connect to the panels. So this basically, they'll just kind of come out underneath the cover here and set. I'll have to make sure that they cut clear because I don't want to get them, you know, squeezed and broken, but I'll find a way to make that work better. So anyways, they'll connect to the cables here. I'll also be able to connect extensions here if I want to put these panels somewhere else on the boat. So I'll have like 5 and 10 foot extensions I can just run from here over to wherever the panels are sitting at the time. So, okay, so I ran the cables around like I said. They're underneath the bulkhead there and they come up over this lip. And I put 2 pieces of foam here to space it out to give these cables some room underneath so they don't get pinched too hard. One thing I want to point out though, and I didn't mention before, I'm going to put MC4 connectors on there. If I disconnect those from the panels for some reason, I would suggest not stowing these ends and the cables down below because any spark could set off an explosion. So safety should be very important to everybody out here. So just make some kind of other arrangements for these cables to be stowed if you're not using them and not in the engine compartment. Okay, now we're going to take these 2 wires coming from the aft part of the boat and run them up through this hole and up into the closet. So both sets of wires are coming up through the closet here. At some point I'm going to have the Bluetti in here. This will be the power station, but everything will be connected within this closet space. For right now though, I'm just going to close the closet and run the wires out for the Bluetti. It'll be right here when I close this cover, and it'll sit here so I can kind of watch it and keep an eye on it for a while until I get it installed in that closet. So today was kind of a landmark day. I've got cables run from the fore and aft of the ship, of the boat, sorry, my Navy days, down to the cuddy. So I've got some long runs heading down here to the Bluetti, which is going to be the central power section of the boat for solar stuff. So tomorrow morning I'll start charging again and see how she charges, and but it's kind of cool getting to have everything, getting it set up so it's out of the way. And I'll update you tomorrow. So all the runs are done as far as the wire goes, fore and aft, and they're down here, and I'll be running parallel and series on these panels depending on how they operate. So anywho, got that all done, so happy about that. And I also did a quick test on this Honeywell fan, Honeywell cooling tower, and television. That's a 39-inch Vizio. Anyhow, I'll put those numbers that I got with my kilowatt meter and with the Bluetti. They're not exactly the same, probably for efficiency reasons, but anyhow, I'll post those numbers on the video. So up front, up forward, I ran the cables for the solar down through that little, see that conduit down there? That goes down from the fly bridge down through the helm of the boat up front. Let me show you. So this is the fly bridge. They're going to come out of this hole here and connect to the 4 solar panels on the front. Anyway, the way those go down through the boat there, and I'll show you where they come through. Off for a second though, I'll show you. This is basically the cables I had running for the aft panel. So those are messy right now. I'll clean those up later. So into the dirty boat. A lot of junk laying around. So those cables came down through this post here. The flybridge is right up there. They came down there, went through the control panel, which is down here. There's a empty space back here where the wires go through, and those wires continue to go down into this cabinet here. Don't get dizzy. And through this cabinet they go down underneath into the hull, where there's a compartment right here, and it goes back to there. And I ran them up through into that cabinet, and they came out here, and they're stowed away right now. These are the ones for the aft panel. So just wanted to show you that run of cable, and pretty fun 2 days running these things, and they should be hopefully working pretty well by tomorrow. So in summary, I'm done for the day. I'm going to clean up those cables there, kind of tighten them up and get them tied to the rails or just out of the way for now. Running these cables today, I learned a lot, and tomorrow morning I'll start charging the Bluetti with these 2 panels here. Maybe move them around a bit and see how they do. This is the continuation of my solar adventure. Hang on.